Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Mr. John Oloyede joins us next. He is also a legal practitioner. Thank you for coming on today.
Good morning.
Well, having listened to different perspectives from the police, INEC, even politicians about the postponement of these elections, is there any sort of Damocles at the moment?
Oh, well. Let me preface our discussion this morning by saying that the election of any politician in Nigeria is not worth the life of any Nigerian. And to that extent, I would say that if indeed there is any suspicion that there is likely to be serious security breach on election day, then what INEC has done or what DSS and the police have done will be in order to save the lives of Nigerians, the youth corpers who will probably be there. I will support that. But the question is, are there serious security breaches that may affect this election in a very negative way? Now, the explanations that have been given, they are self-defeating. First of all, they have stated that, because of the coming Salah celebrations, they are likely, some militants, some insurgent groups are planning attacks, not just in Edo State, I believe in every part of Nigeria. And these Salah celebrations will come up Monday and Tuesday. The elections should hold anytime Saturday from tomorrow. And by Monday, everything should have been wrapped up. Now, why would you postpone an election that's supposed to hold before Salah on grounds of likely security breaches?
No, but if it were a softer target,
yeah,
you don't think the militants will take it?
Now, you see, when has life ever been saved in any part of Nigeria? Because suddenly, you see, politicians, they harass institutions that are meant for you and I. They harass them into doing their bidding. Now, there are serious security breaches every day in Nigeria. People get killed. Armed robbers go around marauding.
But we shouldn't take it for granted.
No, we shouldn't take it for granted. What I'm saying is that, every day people get killed. Was it last week? A man his car was hit by a downfall driver, and the man jumped. He was trying to. The man was killed a few meters away from a military formation, from the police headquarters. There was no statement from the police, from anybody about that man's death. Now you talk of an election simply because politicians are involved. Everything about Nigeria revolves around politicians and politics now. Even those of us who practice in the courts, our cases get stalled simply because political cases are expedient, they must be heard, they are very urgent. So other cases must hold on. You have cases hanging at the appellate courts for 5-6 years simply because of political cases.
Wait. Does that then mean that we should expect this matter to end up in court?
Your guess is as good as mine. Look, that's what I'm saying. Now, the DSS and the police, they have been used to do a particular part of the damage on the psyche of Nigerians. Now, the next phase will be the elections proper. Mr. Ikechukwu had talked about the time, the time-based provisions of the law, of the Constitution. 13 days to do notice, 30 days before the end of the current term of Oshiomhole. And that all those things, you can be rest assured that this will not end here. The elections will be inconclusive or partly inconclusive. That's not by the grace of God, but by the grace of man. Now, when it gets inconclusive, all those issues will come, then the results will be announced. When the results are announced, all those pitfalls, the holes that have been dug by this cancellation now, this first one, there may be a second one. All those holes will then come up in court. And then they expect the court to perform magic. The judges must now become God. They must now see what others never saw. They must now, have developed brains that are bigger than ours. That is where it's headed.
So why we postulate, or Nigerians postulate, politicians are thinking 2-3 steps ahead of this?
God bless you, my brother. They are like 10 steps ahead of the average Nigerian. This is not just about, for instance, there are so many constitutional safeguards and provisions that indicate what should be done and what should not be done. Indicate the independence of INEC. Now, you tell me there's a constitutional breach. As at yesterday, up till 6 p.m., INEC was insisting that the elections will hold. We are all aware of that.
Yeah.
INEC kept saying, no, we are going ahead. You see all sorts of things on social media, and then suddenly by 8 p.m., INEC capitulated. This is a recurring decimal.
Because even as at the time that news was out,
yes,
INEC had not changed the tweet, because the last tweet they had was still reading that the elections were going on as at 8 p.m.
You understand? Then the announcement suddenly came. And that is always what is happening in Nigeria these days. You cannot divorce propaganda from reality. You can't divorce truth from falsehood. I mean, at any level, particularly government circles, you have a high-ranking government functionary saying this, and then a lower-ranking person comes and says that, and the high-ranking person denies that no, that's not true, and then ultimately, what had been fed into the public domain comes out from the lower-ranking person, and it turns out to be the truth.
You know, Mr. Oloyede, listening to you, one wonders, since 1999, if we say let's take off what we have experienced from 1960, we would have learnt and moved away from all of this. But the way you painted it, as grimly as it is, it looks so real.
Yes. I mean, the surreal is real in Nigeria. Well, I mean, the lies are real. The reality we face today is that there's a lot of falsehood that is reigning amongst us. And it's so difficult now. You can imagine the kind of nonchalance that has been brought to bear in respect of this Edo election. High crescendo, and then suddenly the bubble burst. Oh, the elections will not hold. It will hold on a weekday, within the week. And so many people, they'll go to work. Now, are you telling me that the average Nigerian who goes to work, not because his salary is paid on time? I mean, some governors are saying, I'm owing 4 years pension, I'm owing just 2 years salaries, but yet workers continue resuming at work. Why do they resume at work? Is it because of the salaries? No, because by going to work, they get something, honestly or dishonestly, to feed their families. Now, these people on a working day, you expect that person who is going to eke out a bit of his living on that day to go and vote for politicians that are totally discredited? No.
We'll take a quick moment, Mr. Oloyede. We'll be back in just a moment to join us again.